Greetings, I'm Bill Jewett, also known as the Fly Tying Santa, and welcome to my workshop. Today what we're going to discuss, and this is one of the things as an instructor I find a lot of times that students struggle with, and that's dubbing noodles, types of different dubbings, as well as different forms to use it for. So let's go ahead and get this started. So first thing I'm going to do is show you some different types of dubbing. This is by Fulling Mill. It's micro flash and it's UV reactive. Let me go ahead and turn this back around. So this will actually light up, and if you use, let me turn my light off here. Now, if I turn my torch on for UV resin, you can see how this glows. And that's great for some flies. Other flies, not so great. In gin clear water, a lot of times bright colors like that won't work. So the other one we have here is by Waspy, and this is one of my favorites. It's called Super Bright. And I use a lot of this for steelhead flies, and also on woolly boogers and stuff like that. Now the next one we have is a brand new one. It's by Semper Fly. It's only been out for about 1.5 years, 2 years, and it's called Semper Seal Sub Natural. Very long, not finely chopped up. You can use it for a wing, and I'll show you one of them that I just did with one when we get further into this. And then natural dubbings. This is all natural squirrel dubbing. And very easy to use dubbing that's natural over the synthetic. It'll grab the wax. The wax will grab it easier, and in turn it into a nice noodle. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Let me adjust this real quick. Bring this in. So, okay, let's go with this. So what we have here, the top left, this one right here, is one of the most common mistakes I see when I'm teaching students. Rule number 1, the least amount of dubbing you can put on a noodle is the best amount. You can always go back and add more to make it a thicker body. This right here is what your proper dubbing should look like with a dubbing noodle. So let's go ahead and move this up. So what I'm going to show you here, this one right here, back here, you got a dubbing noodle. Right here, dubbing loop that was put on there with. And at the very front is touch dubbing. You can barely see it right in front of the tip. It's white. So we're going to jump over to this side first. And on this side, you can see the difference. Let me adjust this real quick. You can see the difference between this and this, or this and this. This is using wax and natural dubbing. Right here is an example of a different way that you can use dubbing. And what I used was a Semper Seal, because it's long fibers again. And all I did was take and fold it over itself after dressing it with dirty bug yarn down here at the bottom on the belly to put a wing on there. right here, and all you would have to do is, if you want, you can add a hackle, or you can add more dirty bug yarn and then a hackle in front of it. Or you can just dress it with a different color thread and UV resin it, and you're good to go. So what you have here, and these are just examples, on the left, you have a dubbing noodle. At the top of the left dubbing noodle, you can see how nice and thin it is. That's what you're wanting. Below that, right here, what you're getting is starting to get too much on the thread. So you can always remove some of that and just make it fine like the one up here. On the right, this is called touch dubbing. Take and wax your thread down real well and take some natural fur dubbing like rabbit or squirrel or possum, something like that. And just after it's waxed, just take and start touching the line with it. And that way you get a very buggy look. When we continue this dubbing series here in a few minutes, I will go ahead and also show you a dubbing loop. Okay, so what I want to show you now is I want to show you a different technique for using dubbing. And we'll start our thread. We're going to lay our thread base, coat the hook real well, so we can get a good grip when we do this next step. Trim your tag end off. So what I'm going to use now is a stuff that's called dirty bug yarn. And I'm going to put the body on with this first, and then I'm going to show you how to use the dubbing with it. So what you're going to do is a pinch wrap right here, and then tighten it down. Don't have to trim it off because it's going to hold itself down. So I'm going to come right to here where you see this dubbing opening. Put a half hitch in there. I don't like when my thread jumps off the eye. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this same as you would any other. And this is a substitute you can use for your dubbing on your hooks. So get up here and right there. Okay, so now what you want to do is run your thread back here, holding this tight like this. You're going to put your thread, your bobbin, over the top a couple times, then over the front of it a couple times, and then I like to do it one more time just to lock it down. And then trim off the tag end on that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a different type of dubbing. First thing I'm going to do is wax my thread real well. Get this waxed. So I'm not doing that to wrap the dubbing on there. What I'm going to do is this time we're going to do a three-tone wing using dubbing. So basically I get green, white, and red. So let's go ahead and mix the three of them together by separating them like this. And sometimes it takes a little time. Get the green mixed in there with it. So I'm going to use a different type of dubbing. I'm going to use what's called seal sub. And I will use a golden color for the wing. This stuff is long. You don't have to shred it with your fingers. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over on itself one time, holding it like that. Slide your fingers up, do a pinch wrap. And if you ever are doing this and your thread starts moving away from it instead of capturing it, for right-handed tires, go counterclockwise to unwind your thread. For left-handed tires, you'll go clockwise. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and capture this. And we want this on top of the hook. And we'll pull what's loose out of there. And then I'm going to trim the tail. Or the wing, I should say. So there's another use. Then all you do is you can put a hackle on the front. You can put more dubbing there and a second wing like you would do on a chubby Chernobyl. So what we're going to do is just whip finish it real quick. You do 4 or 5 turns. And then, depending on the thread you're using, you should be able to snap it off like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we made a dubbing noodle. Basically just wrap that around the hook a couple times. And then down, and then around the thread. And then I use what's called a dubbing loop twister. So now what we're going to do is I have my one finger here, and I need to back it up some. Okay, so let's do this one. So now we have it like this. So now what I'm going to do is taking my dubbing and once you get it in there, you can adjust it, smooth it out like that. So then what you do is you take your dubbing twister and you start spinning it. Get that out of here. So as you see, it's cording it up. So then what you do is I usually take and move up and hold the thread right here like this. And then I'm going to show you, this is the way I put it on with my Norvise. And that's how you put dubbing on with a dubbing noodle. And when you're done with it, all you do, bring your thread back. Let's do it this way. Bring your thread back, round it again a couple times, back over the top. And what that does is that locks your thread. Let's do it one more time, and then one more time. Then all you have to do is come in here and snip your thread off. So just to reiterate myself, what I've shown you today is I've shown you the wrong way to use dubbing. Less is more when it comes to dubbing. You can always add more to the line. I showed you proper dubbing after using a proper dubbing loop with just a fine amount on there. I showed you an example of a dubbing noodle. Then in the middle, I showed you an example of a dubbing loop, where you loop it and wrap it around there. And then we also showed you how to use dubbing for a wing. I can't emphasize this enough. Less is more when it comes to dubbing. By all means, if you like this video, please subscribe, share with your friends, And if you have questions or concerns, or you're another content creator, leave your link to your page in the comments so I can start sharing your stuff to help you grow. And hopefully we can work together to do this as a team, not just one-on-one. Thank you and have a wonderful day, and thank you for visiting my workshop.